So, YouTube appears to have changed their policies somewhat, making it so that anything that might be offensive or insulting to anyone can get you pile-drived by the friendly neighborhood algorithm. It's fine, I can work with this. So long as the subject of this video isn't anyone too bad, I'll be golden. And we can focus on the arguments and general jokes about nonsense.
Today is Saturday, November 28th, 2020.
Oh, it's Hans. Oh, God, that's just awesome. I am so genuinely and unironically happy. It's my favourite person in the universe who always makes content that doesn't drive me completely insane and or apoplectic with rage. I'm so joy. Someone please bring me a drink for the love of God.
And today I'm going to talk about the big trees.
The big trees? What big trees? Wait, oh no. This isn't gonna be the whole mountains are the stumps of gigantic frickin' trees thing, is it? Cause that both takes me back and also gives me PTSD of this guy. That was incredibly smart and interesting, if you know what I mean.
And I'm not necessarily talking about the same thing as the really famous YouTube video.
Oh, thank God. Although I don't really consider that set of videos particularly famous or anything. Maybe he just means me and my stupid catchphrase. Wait, am I allowed to call myself stupid? Because reminder YouTube, I am not a person, so I don't count.
No forests on flat Earth.
Oh, he wasn't talking about me. When are people going to start recognising my famousness? What, am I actually going to have to be famous? That doesn't seem fair. I shouldn't have to put any effort into actually becoming the things I want to call myself, especially considering the fact that I am the King of England. Also, no forests on the flat earth. You're really testing me, Hans. God, that I can't disparage flat earthers. Don't you find that a little hypocritical that you can do this on flat earth videos, YouTube? I think that they would find that pretty disparaging if you ask me.
I do believe that when you look at mesas or things like Devil's Tower, it does look like a petrified tree stump.
Oh, goody gumdrops. I couldn't be happier that you are diving into the whole mountains are the stumps of trees things. That's awesome. Because it is a really smart observation based on absolutely loads of evidence and actually thinking about things. And not like the total opposite of that statement. No.
And so I think that there could have been these unfathomably huge trees that you could just see from hundreds of miles away.
There could. There could also have been Godzilla-esque kaiju creatures roaming the landscape, eating cattle and peasants. Or there could have been flying fireball-chucking super wizards with the power of the very elements themselves. But there's no evidence for any of these things, including yours, so why not, instead of making stuff up, we just go with, they are just rock formations. And then we can get on with our lives. Almost like we're grown-ups or something, yeah?
I think that's possible, but that's not necessarily what I'm focusing on in this video. I'm more focusing in on...
Hans, please, my heart can't take it. Are you gonna be talking about the tree mountain thing or not? I mean, preferably not, but at least tell me so I can actually, sleep tonight. The anticipation stroke anxiety is just killing me. Or perhaps that's just the fact that I keep stabbing myself in the leg repeatedly with a fork for reasons totally unrelated to your content.
It seems like in the 1800s, it was just a big goal of those in control to go around the earth and just chop down every big tree that was around.
What? Really? I mean, even if that was true, who cares? Don't get me wrong, I would prefer the bigger tree boys stuck around. Nature is pretty and all that crap. But it's not like world-controlling conspiracy type shit if they cut down a few trees. Like, what's the relation between the famed ilubinooti and chopping down big trees? What does that help them achieve, apart from basically nothing? At least from a global viewpoint.
And it's part of obscuring history, and that's more what I'm focusing in on this video.
So it's obscuring history, except you found it. So they clearly aren't doing a very good job. In fact, they are doing such a poor job of obscuring history, it's almost like that's not what they're doing at all. Although, to be fair, you are the world's greatest big brain smarter, so of course you found it. So maybe you have a point. Hashtag not sarcasm.
So Zechariah chapter 11 verses 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, boys! It's Bible chapters! My and your favourite completely relevant type of evidence that's totally useful and interesting. How long do I have to keep this up?
Open thy doors, O Lebanon, that the fire may devour thy cedars. Howl, fir tree, for the cedar is fallen, because the mighty are spoiled. Howl, O ye oaks of Bashan, for the forest of the vintage is come down.
Burning down forests is bad, is what I get from that. What a revelation. You know, I got into an argument with a commenter recently that insisted that the Bible was an extremely historically accurate document. Unironically, because sometimes it says things that were right. It's very confusing. And I even said that while they almost certainly did get a few things right, the fact that basically every big event that can be researched was either factually inaccurate at best, or very often just plain couldn't have happened, is very telling. And the simple fact is, if your history book gets so much crap wrong, you might just be better off disregarding it entirely. We have so many better ways of finding things out now anyway.
And it's kind of always been a big talking point for environmentalists, talking about old growth and how rare old growth forests are.
Yeah, humans, the plague that they are. Wait, am I allowed to say that? Because that's not just a group, but literally everyone. No, I've got to put my foot down. I can't lie about this one. I have to tell the truth. All humans is the worst. Apart from the terrible ones, they're great. But yeah, mankind kind of enveloped the entire planet, and with that they needed to eat all the wood that they could, or whatever it is they do with wood. So only a few unspoiled forests remain. It's sad, but again, it's not the Ilubi boys. Hell, humans don't need a higher governing thing to go out of their way to destroy the environment for their own benefit. Temporary though that benefit is. It's basically innate. It's only these days that they try not to do it because science and critical thinking and conservation.
Almost every forest has been chopped down, doesn't matter how remote of an area you go to. And
I mean, it's quite impressive, really. And if I didn't enjoy my oxygen quite so much, I might even encourage it to get the old killing all humans ball rolling. But that's not the best idea, and frankly, has a certain lack of explosion for my tastes. Because explosions are very cool.
It's just a known thing that Europe used to be covered in trees, and now almost all the trees have been cut down.
Really? An extremely developed set of countries are not great big rainforests? Well, I am the shock. How could that possibly have happened? This is going to require some serious minding in order to solve the mystery of why the town I live in is full of concrete and brick instead of tree forts. Although now that I think about it, a town entirely made from tree houses sounds frickin' awesome, as long as they make sure that I gets the proper internets. Can't live without dem dogs greeting their owners videos. That shit sustains me.
And I guess the first part of this video is talking about why are there so many images of people chopping down humongous trees in the past?
Because keep up with me here and select one of the following. They were A, more common, B, an impressive achievement, or C, people are much more inclined to preserve nowadays, or D, literally all the above, and none of which again require any sort of nefarious schemes or motives to be true, and are, well, likely all true. Not everything has to be that there is a world government out there to get you. Hell, I don't really think anything like that exists, but then again, I understand that humans are terrible at working together and terrible at keeping secrets.
It's like it was a huge project. It doesn't make sense.
Oh hey, the first accurate statement made in this entire video. Not that he said anything inaccurate or just plain factually wrong or anything. It's just, I don't know why I even said that. Hans is perfect. All hail Hans and his mighty brain.
Why they would need to chop down the trees, unless that was like their one goal. Hey, we're here to chop down all the big trees.
Oh, come on, mate. You're so close. So close to that smidgen of self-awareness that you need in order to realise that just because you have come to a conclusion, like they cut down all the trees because evil, doesn't mean that your random conclusion is even remotely accurate. Like everything, if you want me to buy one of your ideas, the very least you need to do is say, hey, here is a completely rational and logical reason for why they would do that. But you never do, for some reason.
just to me, it's clear that that's what they were trying to do. It was like they all were trying to just one-up each other on how many big, giant trees they can chop down.
Yes, that's what it looks like to you, and hey, perhaps you're right, somehow. But that doesn't matter unless you can prove that you are right. And no, just saying, but look at my pictures though, is not proving anything. You can come up with 100 perfectly reasonable explanations as to why they were doing that in those pictures that are, frankly, far more likely than spoopy agent spooks want to do something in secret history and crap, until you can actually prove it. But you won't. You know why? Because you can't. Because that's not what they were doing. Even if they were competing to chop down big trees, it was because they're assholes. Oh, come on, YouTube, I can call them assholes. They're dead.
No regard for, hey, maybe we should keep some of these giant, beautiful trees around.
Hey, I actually think that's, no sarcasm whatsoever, the most coherent and rational thing I have ever heard you say. Hell, I even agree. It's a damn shame that old school humans didn't have much foresight or care as to what impact their actions had on the world. But again, that doesn't mean there was a conspiracy to specifically chop down big trees. It's just humans humaning it up in their general destructive ways.
And it's what Masons do. They destroy things and they write their own story. And they obscure the past.
Why did you say it like that? Why did you say his story like that? Oh, I get it. It's because Masons are all actually snakes in people suits. And I have a thing for that. Damn, it feels good to crack out an old stupid gag that took me like an hour to make. See, that's recycling. It's good for the earth. And definitely not me being incredibly lazy. Nope.
And I don't know exactly. I think they just didn't want people to know about all the giant trees. They were on a mission to go around the earth and chop down all the giant trees that were around.
Okay, I know this is a foreign concept to some people, naming no names or looking at anyone in particular, hands, but let's come up with some reasons to chop down giant trees that don't involve your pet theories. Big trees are big, so they get in the way of development. Oh wait, that's literally the only reason anybody needs to chop down a tree. Because bonus, after you chop down the trees, they are the perfect thing to build houses out of. Well, aside from cake, of course. Cake house.
And I just think it's interesting whenever I look back on the past, I don't see the same story that they sell us about, oh, cameras were crazy rare and you had to sit still for 5 minutes to get your photograph taken.
Come on, man, no. Do some damned research. It takes seconds. Apart from the fact that the move from the everyone stands still, this is going to take a few hours photo to what we understand as taking a quick photo today was relatively fast. Within a century, I believe. If you had bothered to take a moment to actually check when your photos were taken, they were well within the time period of fast photography. You see, I think one of the issues that you seem to have is that you base your understanding on how things were on this cartoon version of history and never bother to dive any further beyond that understanding, instead choosing to remain ignorant to any and all factual depictions, and then acting like it's everyone else who is ignorant. It's infuriating.
That's clearly not how it works. When I look at photos of the past, most people, they look like they know exactly what a camera is. It looks like they know exactly what's going on. It looks like a common everyday part of life.
Because it was! Because the photos you are looking at are from the time periods when cameras were a thing, because of course they were, because they couldn't exist if it wasn't! It literally couldn't be any other way. That's how reality works, Hans. People know about the things that exist. Although it's pretty funny that you can apparently read people's minds through pictures, and time and space as well. Since you can do that, tell me what I'm thinking about you from this picture. I'll give you a hint. It's not nice.
It's probably just that a lot of photography from back then just didn't survive, or it's just in private collections or something.
Or, you know, someone here doesn't even have a basic understanding of history. Although, to be fair, most photos definitely didn't survive, because they wouldn't have. And not because bad men am bad, but because most people are just useless at actually not ruining their stuff. Or my stuff. Hashtag rename Earth to Sick World 1.
And look how crisp and clear a lot of the images are, just great quality. It's just a thing though. A large percentage of photos from back in the day are photos of people chopping down these giant trees.
Yes, Hans, that's what you're gonna get. If you look for photos of people chopping down trees, then you are gonna get photos of people chopping down trees. And yeah, they are crisp because you don't understand how photography works. And most photos from back then, even though they were relatively uncommon, they were still only really done to record some event because they were a pain in the ass to set up back then. Also, records of those events were more likely to be stored somewhere instead of just in a random picture frame that gets thrown out by accident. There's just so many things. I don't think I can do it anymore. If I have to keep being nice to Hans, well, nice by my standards, I'm just going to explode. Just get out of here, Hans, before I do something we both regret. Like sing Holler Back Girl.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos. And she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the